for me, obviously, a brand becoming an author brand is very attractive. Like every brand needs to become that if they want the audiences to fall in love with them and have brand fame and affinity and longevity.
So, Margot, welcome to Director's Notes.
Thank you, Sarah.
No, it's an honor. As I just said, so it's part of our industry insights, where we want to find out about people doing exciting, innovative things. And obviously, with Director's Notes, we know you, we've featured some of your films. So I would just like you to open up and sort of introduce yourself and tell us a bit about you and LIEF.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Really happy to be here and talk to you. So I am Margo Mars. I am the Dutch founder of LIEF and now co-founder of LIEF Entertainment Company since this week.
Yes.
Yes. And traditionally, for the past 20 plus years, I've worked in producing production of advertising, really the traditional advertising production companies, working with incredible directors throughout my whole career, based in London, and um, always championing the diverse voices diverse voices really creating a meaningful difference with brands. So
Yeah.
delivering,
Yeah.
that's really become my both mission, but more so my passion. Like I can't do anything else.
Yeah.
And and with that, I founded LIEF 8 years ago. And it's been great. It's a traditional production company in the sense that we have a roster of filmmakers and we
Mhm.
also work outside of the roster and we produce anything from commercials to short form to long form documentary and narrative. But with that, because my taste has always led me to author filmmakers, it's
Yeah.
also become a really clear, pathway to make a difference in advertising. So we tend to, work on the briefs that are desiring a longer form or an authorship, and um, and that's led naturally to entertainment, to brands and agencies giving us the briefs that say at the bottom of the 180-page deck or whatever, and let's make something for a festival. And you're like, maybe we should start with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, and that starting with it is why setting up LIEF Entertainment Company is a clear path to now make that conversation the start of the conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
If a brand would like that, or an agency, or yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, it's amazing because obviously at Director's Notes, we feature
Yeah.
short films from all over. And, we're involved very heavily with, 1.4. I see the amazing work that comes out of Cyclope and sort of that branded side of things. And I
Mhm.
think there is so much more room for the merging of worlds that I think it's very maybe past that it would be either advertising or, film. And so it's beautiful to bring them together.
Yes, they are well and truly they've collided, but I think up until now it's still disguised a little bit as disguised as entertainment, but they are
Yeah.
advertising because they're based on or they're based on brand IP. Like everybody is like Barbie, or Lego, or and what we're talking about is well also that very happy to produce that work and do branded content as well, which is a different that's in a way commercials disguised as entertainment.
Yeah. Yeah.
But entertainment, whether you put the word brand in terms of funding in front of it or not, entertainment is just entertainment. It actually, the brand becomes an equity partner. So we really bring them in as we do a private financier or a streamer or a distributing or a sales company. So they're part of the partnership.
Yeah.
And their reason for doing it can be very varied, of course. So we're also not looking for them to become like 100% a funder, which is the difference with the short form that they're making up until now, maybe more so.
Yeah.
The brand is telling the story. My first question between the differences is always like, would this piece be made if the brand did not start it?
Okay.
then it's true entertainment because it's just a story that needs to be told, and it
Yeah.
happens to fit the brand's feeling that they want to create or audience that they want to be part of, or whatever reason they're doing it for.
Yeah. No, I think that's brilliant. And that's a brilliant question to ask people. Do you find it sort of knocks people off guard sometimes?
Um, Well, I ask it to myself to
Okay.
have the conversation. I don't necessarily pose it in the room. Like, I don't necessarily say to a brand like, "Well, that would never be made." Usually, I more say like, so it's more for me a marker if something is going to be successful as entertainment. I guess that's because what is the measurement of success is that it gets an audience organically,
Yeah,
right? That people choose to watch it. That's entertainment to me, or to anyone. That's just and so when you get a brief, and of course the brand wants that, they want to win the awards or have the festivals or be seen as streamers. They want new audiences, and if if something right from the brief point screams that it needs to be made, that people, it means that people need to see it as well. And so then you can make that pathway for a brand of how that success story looks. Because as you know, when you make something, you can't guarantee it goes into a festival,
no,
or you can't guarantee that a streamer will buy it. But there are roadmaps to plan A, plan B, plans, and one of the big marks starts at the start of like, is this a good piece? Is this a story that needs to be told and that has drama and that is interesting? You know, a
yeah,
lot of the advertising briefs that have a good like brand story of the feeling they want to create, they don't have that level of drama or storytelling
of
yet, you know,
course.
and it's
Yeah,
never going to be that unless you develop it in a different way. Yeah.
yeah. I want to go back to what you said earlier about working with auteurs. So
Hmm.
what does that mean to you and the work you do at LIEF? Because I think it's a term that a lot of people can throw around, but I know from your work and things that you do that there's a genuine understanding of what you want.
Yes. And it's taken me a long, I'm still not sure if I can truly define it because some of it is also instinctive.
Of
Like when I
course.
see work, I'll think like, oh, this is someone that is going to make a difference. And it really
Yeah.
is about having a very clear point of view and vision. That's authorship, or an author filmmaker has throughout their career, whether it's a very short career still because it's starting or a very long career, you see a thread of how
Mm.
they approach work and how they approach telling the story. And for me, obviously, a brand becoming an author brand is very attractive. Like every
Yeah.
brand needs to become that if they want the audiences to fall in love with them and have brand fame and affinity and longevity.
Mm.
Um, so then they need to work with author filmmakers to get that.
Yeah.
To me, it's very, because otherwise you're talking about sponsorship, advertising, you're talking about different, and they also have to let go, like they are not writing the story. They have to, you cannot, like, you cannot sell a piece to Netflix if the author filmmaker isn't the writer of the piece, right? They will, if it's the brand that clearly has called some shots, the audience will know, and nobody in entertainment will buy it.
Yeah.
So yeah, to me the authorship is like a no-brainer, but actually that is the part that isn't structured well yet, that isn't offered as like a clear route, like, you know, it's kind of tip every agency always, you know, it puts like, I want to work with Yorgos Lanthimos or Coralie Forcha, or you
Yeah.
know, they will put that in the, but then they don't let that author often really do what they, because it's advertising, right? It's
Yeah.
selling a
Yeah.
product. It's not selling their vision per se.
Mm.
It's kind of mixing it.
Yeah.
Um, Go ahead.
No, I mean, that's why it's interesting because sort of when I
Yeah.
was looking and preparing for this, I was looking at different agencies and ones that I know and different things. And it's like you said, I think a lot of people like to say we do this and this is what we love.
Yeah.
And but
Yeah.
then you look at some of their work and their clients, and it there's an air of falsity to it. So that's why I think it's beautiful that there are obviously companies like yours who do care, and you want this to be true,
Yeah.
not just something that's going to bring people in.
No, I mean it truly I did it before I coined it, before I said it,
Yeah,
and then I was
yeah,
like, wait, I'm doing that,
yeah.
it kind of all fell together. And that because I've always, with whatever commercial I made or music video or work, and every producer, of course, it's always defined as craft, but to me, it's fighting for the audience to
Hmm.
love it and not necessarily like the brand is not the hero, the audience is the hero.
Yeah.
And that is at the moment completely like I've finally I've arrived. Like it's okay to say that and to because the audience are not watching the ads anymore, like or trying very hard to avoid it. So you have to
Absolutely.
make things that they want to see. Yeah,
Yeah. No, it's because I mean I don't watch adverts anymore. Um,
I do because it's my job, right?
yeah. But then
Uh,
sometimes I find myself, there's either work that comes through director's notes or
yeah,
work that I see around. And then I watch these things and I'm like, they're amazing. Advertising has evolved so much from what I think a lot of us have in our head,
yeah.
being bombarded with a message. So, and I
Mm,
think it's beautiful. And I think I'd love there, to be somewhere. And there are in festivals and things. But as you said, combining these things so that
yeah,
people go, do you know what? Advertising is cool and it's beautiful and it's filmmaking.
yeah.
And
But
yeah,
there's also it's okay, both need to exist, like a marketing plan, especially we're talking global brands, right?
yeah,
Because there's local brands as well, but the global brands can really benefit from entertainment because it can travel the content, like so it's brands will have their marketing budget for the product-led advertising, and we do them at LIEF with a lot of heart and passion, and making them also important. So I'm not again. I'm almost like that. I think that is one of the not like the pain points in a way that people are not choosing to actually draw a line. Like a lot of people saying, let's blend the two, but it's like no, you got to pick.
yeah.
Because the two are very different, and also it's why it's a different company as well,
Mm,
because a commercial production company from the offset saying, oh, I also can do entertainment, it's kind of wishy-washy because yeah, sure they can, but it's like a completely different way of working. You have different contexts. I'm super excited that I've partnered with Raymond, who's a veteran film producer and who
yeah,
has done that part for many, many years. So his contact book is completely different, and knowledge of how to package these entities and work with festivals. So I, I think actually it's not per se, it's blending because you are taking brands into entertainment, but the way
mm.
of working and what you do is very different.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
can see that. And that's really interesting. I wanted to ask you about coming together with Raymond because I was looking at what he's done and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
amazing. He's got an incredible background.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
how did you two meet and sort of the worlds come together for LIEF Entertainment?
Yeah, well, he's a international film producer, but also Dutch.
Mhm.
And so we'd kind of been in touch throughout my career, and when I set up LIEF via the usual LinkedIn or
Yeah.
hey, congratulations, whatever. And he has a great company called Revolver. And he'd inquired a few times, like, oh, should we talk about maybe doing some things together? And up until a year ago or so, I was very adamantly saying no, because I was forging a clear vision for like I'd for years worked at companies RSA, Pretty Bird, like big, and had to be part of a bigger thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I with LIEF, I really wanted that clarity and intentional me. Like I wanted to build that first before branching out and talking to other people. And but we'd always been in touch. And I also wasn't quite sure what the need, like, why would we, like, what? And then a year ago, he persisted and he was like, you know, because I was developing a feature film with a brand, a luxury brand. And then I was like, oh, actually, I could ask him a few questions about this or this. And then we started talking, and it was very clear that he we complement each other so well with our knowledge base and yeah, the things we can then offer together. So
Yeah.
so that's how, and then we also decided let's make it an official company and like a clear destination. It took
Mm.
a lot of thinking, as you do with partnerships, and but I'm super proud of it and excited
Yeah. I
to
think
work with
it's
you.
really exciting.
Yeah.
Going into a new venture, and it's
Yes.
learning sort of a new side of obviously an industry and a world that you know really well.
Yes.
And
And
that's
then,
there's so much opportunity with that.
exactly. It was interesting actually because so I'm here in Cannes at MIPCOM, which is the entertainment conference, and there was a few keynotes of people from Dentsu or McCann talking about their work in brand entertainment because there is a part of brand storytelling within the conference.
Yeah.
Anyway, and they draw a big audience this year because a lot of people are, especially streamers are hungry for different ways of getting things financed, so
Yeah.
everybody was like all ears. And it was a brilliant talk. Like to me, I totally got because it was an agency, it's a holding company and they're talking in their language, the advertising language. And I was surrounded by people who work in purely the entertainment side.
Mhm.
And afterwards we had a coffee and we mingled a bit. And and they said to me, I said, oh, how did you find it? And she said, I didn't understand a word. I have no idea what just
Okay.
happened. And to me, that was really, that is one of the things that we're bridging is
Yeah.
that the language is different,
Yeah.
with having worked with filmmakers who actually have a great career in film and TV, I uh, I understand the language of distribution, sales, film, the whole packaging, financing,
Yeah. Yeah.
and Raymond, of course, in spades. But I also have worked on advertising for 20 plus years. So speaking both those languages to make everybody understand what's needed, that's really interesting. And it was really a moment for me. I was like, oh gosh, yeah, you have to check, you know, because it was for them, that talk. Like it was for them to know how to work with brands
Well,
that they
but
didn't
the fact
understand.
that they didn't even have, because I think you need to have a base level, don't you?
Yeah,
And then if you don't have that base level, I've been to various talks and think, oh, this is interesting. Then I realize, oh no, it's like two levels above. So now I'm just a bit lost.
yeah. It's for your own bubble a bit,
Yeah.
or yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so, what do you see for directors? How, because obviously with directors' notes, we work with a lot of directors who've got feet in
Yes,
advertising, in narrative things, filmmakers who their shorts, their narratives, they're their passion projects.
yes.
How do you think you're going to broach it with them about what you want and about what you're trying to develop with LIEF Entertainment and how it's a bit different?
Yeah, good question. Um, the point of difference is that the entertainment company is not a roster-led company. It's a
Yeah.
studio that produces, distributes, develops, and so each project will either come with a filmmaker already that brings a project and that we match with a brand, connecting the dots for part of the funding.
Yeah.
And that's important as well. It's not trying to sell it to a brand. It's like they might come in for 10 or 15% and some
Yeah.
IP or whatever reason they so some might come already have filmmaker attached, but sometimes we would develop within a brand and find what story they want to be interested in, and then try and see what's out there and have your finger on the pulse of all the things that are being developed and made. So for the filmmakers, They don't need to do anything different than make incredible work or have a really good track record. And then when there is a story they want to tell, if we're aware of it, we can keep it in mind when a brand says, well, actually, I'm very interested to find something like that. Or if they have a gap in their funding and they want to see if maybe we have a match. But I'm opening the floodgates now for people. Please don't send me all your scripts and decks, and just say hi, and we're connected, and knowing what people are doing is always great. So I
Yeah,
think for filmmakers, actually, it's just when not regardless of whether you work with us or anyone, it's make sure that you're talking to the right people so that uh, you shouldn't see brand entertainment as branded content. You shouldn't see it as giving up something. In fact, you have to double down on your authorship because
yeah,
then it will have success for
yeah.
everyone.
And I think that's the big thing that you've got to get people to get over.
Yeah,
That they're not sort of, I don't know, people might think, oh, well, it's taking away from the authorship, but it's actually, as you said,
getting
increasing
some
that.
money, which you need as a filmmaker to get it made, right? But of
Absolutely.
course, you have to. There is some, there is a need to make sure that the brand's needs are met, right? That there's a trust and that everybody's comfortable. But we're really not talking about brand storytelling. Brands facilitate the story being told, and and that's I don't yeah, again, it's make sure you work with the right person and you don't have to be scared about it at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And what about festivals? Because you were saying
yeah,
it'd be lovely to see more crossover and films coming in. And festivals, obviously, there's a huge array, but I think there might be a
yeah.
bit of snobbery. Like, film festival was like, well, no, we don't want branded content, or sort of
I
vice
mean,
versa.
I think Amelia Perez one can, right? I mean, I don't want to like, I think the work that we're talking about at large hasn't been made yet. So you're talking about a new industry and a new segment that that we don't have many examples or measurements for yet. But I know
Yeah,
if you make a good piece of work, a festival will want to program it, you know?
absolutely.
And you
Yeah.
don't, you wouldn't, again, the brand is attaching themselves to the halo effect that I say, of what a piece will do with the audience. They're not putting a logo on it so actually maybe the programmer won't even know that a brand has financed part of it because that's not the point,
Yeah.
for the audience. They many in the industry we know, of course, the Emilia Perez Saint Laurent was behind it for a
Mhm.
big bulk, but not all of the funding. And uh, I think many people who just saw it in the cinema that are not in the industry had no idea about
Oh,
that.
no, not at all.
And for Cannes, it was still like, oh, look at this slate of incredible auteurs like Jacques Audiard and the actors in it, and it was still ticked all the boxes that they need for a
Yeah.
premiere. So,
Us-
yeah,
I love it. And it's just so exciting when
it
something's
is.
coming through. And like you said, that we haven't seen that work yet. So there's going to be
No, I
some
have a few
amazing work coming
samples,
through.
but yeah, there's a few samples, but most of them are
Yeah.
samples of like, oh, but there's a little pain point there that maybe didn't get solved yet, or that we can do better. We're working it out as well, of course, but yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, for you guys, starting this off, who are you looking for? Who do you want to get in touch with you to create sort of this new slate of work?
Very good question. We want to be talking to brands, really, to understand. I think every brand wants to be part of culture and entertainment and
Yeah.
to understand how they've been trying that so far and to become part of their consulting to further that. We want to be we're partnering with some people in sales and distribution that see work early on that we can be part of getting out there or getting fully
Okay.
financed. So there's there's really and talking to incredible filmmakers, of course, they're curious, like, oh, how does this work? And I do have this film that I want to get funded, and
Mm.
uh, but I think that that channel naturally will open up. So, because there's abundance of people who are incredibly talented who want to get amazing work made. I think it's important for us first to guide brands and have that matchmaking ability, because
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's so much, it's educating people, like you said, and making people aware of the new possibilities.
yes,
And yes, for filmmakers, money, funding, that's such a
money, money,
huge hurdle.
yes. But not
So
just for filmmakers, also for streamers. They are,
yeah, yeah,
we hear it here at the market that, it's incredibly hard now to get your show funded. So even big players like an A24 or Neon or BBC or Channel 4, they're all looking at ways to get in there, but they're often talking to media companies, to advertising agencies, and they will lead them on a path of sponsorship. Like the James Bond is like the easiest example, right? Or
yeah,
in Paris, or and them having the opportunity to talk to producers like us to bring them on a different path where there's a more longevity in a partnership that works for everyone. So
yeah,
yeah, it is about of course, and the platform. Like brands have an amazing like it's like borrowing each other's audiences as well. When a brand like Nike will come with a huge platform
mm,
that is interesting if you're making something sports or related to reach that audience.
yeah.
So yeah.
So is there anything you can tell us about that you're working on now that you're really excited?
Um, no, no.
No.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think. No, I think what I'm really excited about is working on this company and
Yeah,
setting this up and setting a really solid structure for all the players involved. That's a huge, because yeah, that is my baby now. And the projects that will follow from that are to come, right?
yeah,
We did with LIEF, so with the advertising part, we did just finish another 30-minute film with a big tech company. It's a US company that's been such a fantastic partner for us. There's a beautiful story. I can't tell too much about it, but it's just to say that we're at the same time building those relationships through doing advertising and the branded content, or that's very close to. And we're as excited about that, of course, but hoping to bring them across
yeah. But
to
both are going to carry on. So,
oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
because they
Yeah.
can run concurrently and feed
Yeah,
into each other.
absolutely. They have to, because again, brands need all those parts, right?
Hmm.
And
100%.
yeah, I have filmmakers that I adore and I want to help with their careers, sustain it and find them different types of work. So that part stays, they
Yeah,
all go hand in hand. Yeah.
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 Well, Margot, thank you. I'm so
Thank
excited for this.
you.
And
Yeah.
I can't wait to see work come out of this all.
Me too. Like, and I see already here, like I've seen work appear, and we were just judging one of the shots awards it was, but they had the Spanish film. What's it? The thing that started the fire, or can you remember the title? And it was for the Spanish like industry to show. So it was a brand entertainment piece, and
Yeah.
that show was just so phenomenal, right? And and I see that and I'm like, that could totally become a feature like
Yeah.
and it was such a success.
I
Yeah.
think that's amazing that you mentioned them because they're going to be on director's notes.
Stop it.
There we go. Yeah.
Exactly.
So we've been
See?
speaking to Canada because it was just one of those that came into director's
Yeah,
notes, and we were like, this is incredible.
it
Um,
is. It
beautiful.
really is.
And then we saw it as part of Conero Film Festival. And so that
Right.
is exactly that. I love that you mentioned that. Yeah, because
Yes.
I've just sent off all my questions to the director.
Okay,
And
so
there's so
that is the
much.
one. Once this comes out and people watch it, like also watch that short and then go, did
Yeah.
you feel like you were watching entertainment or an ad? And there's your answer to what it is that we do. Yeah.
There we go. See, we didn't even plan that.
No, best things.
No, but it's a beautiful, I can't quite remember the title, the something that started the fire.
Yes.
Let me
We're really good champions of it.
Absolutely. Well, we know what we're talking about.
Yes,
There's
we do.
too many titles. I love it. Well, that's a perfect ending.
It is. Thank you
And
so
the
much, Sarah.
symbiosis of everything. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Have a really lovely day.
You too. Enjoy everything in the conference and and we'll
Well,
be spreading the word far, far and wide.
merci beaucoup.
Merci à vous. Ciao.